You know, I've been thinking a lot about Charli XCX lately. I mean, what's the deal with her? She's this fascinating figure in pop music, and it feels like she occupies this unique space that's hard to define. On one hand, she's a pop star with chart-topping hits, and on the other, she's this avant-garde artist who seems to thrive on pushing boundaries. It's like she's a chameleon, effortlessly shifting between mainstream appeal and underground cred. Let's start from the beginning. Charli XCX, born Charlotte Aitchison, burst onto the scene with her 2013 hit I Love It, a collaboration with Icona Pop. Remember that song? It was everywhere. You couldn't escape it. It was the anthem of reckless nights out, of youth and freedom. But what's interesting is that while that song catapulted her into the spotlight, it was just the beginning of her journey. She wasn't just a one-hit wonder. She was a songwriter and an artist with a vision. What I find so relatable about her is that she never seemed to fit into a single box. She's not just a pop star, she's an artist who experiments with sounds, genres, and even her own image. After I Love It, she released her debut album, True Romance, which, let's be honest, didn't get the attention it deserved at the time. It was a blend of bubblegum pop and darker, more experimental sounds. Tracks like You, Ha Ha Ha, and Nuclear Seasons showcased her ability to craft catchy hooks while also exploring deeper themes. It's like she was saying, hey, I can do this pop thing, but I can also be introspective and complex. And then, boom! She teamed up with A.G. Cook and the PC Music Collective, and everything changed. This collaboration was groundbreaking. They took pop music and turned it on its head. Songs like Vroom Vroom and Unlock It were so different from anything else on the radio at that time. They were glitchy, hyper-produced, and had this almost surreal quality to them. It was like she was tapping into a new wave of pop that was both futuristic and nostalgic. It's a fine line to walk, and she did it with such finesse. But let's not forget about her incredible work ethic. Charli XCX is one of those artists who doesn't just sit back and wait for the next big hit to come to her. She's constantly creating, collaborating, and pushing herself. In 2019, she released her album Charli, which was packed with features from other artists like Lizzo, Christine and the Queens, and Troye Sivan. It felt like a celebration of collaboration, of community within the music industry. She was bringing her friends into the spotlight, and that's something I think a lot of people appreciate about her. She's not just about her own success, she genuinely wants to uplift others. And here's where it gets even more interesting, her approach to fame and authenticity. In a world where social media often dictates how artists present themselves, Charli is refreshingly candid. She's open about her struggles with mental health and the pressures of the industry. I mean, how many pop stars do you see talking about anxiety and self-doubt? It's incredibly relatable. She's not just a polished image, she's a real person navigating the ups and downs of life in the public eye. Her recent work, especially the album How I'm Feeling Now, created during the pandemic, is a testament to her ability to adapt and innovate. It was a bold move to create an album in such a short time frame, relying heavily on fan interactions and feedback. It felt like a direct line between her and her audience, and that's something that resonates with so many of us. We've all been through this collective experience, and Charli was there, sharing her own feelings and experiences, making us feel less alone. Let's talk about her visuals for a second, because they're just as important as the music itself. Charli XCX has always had a distinct aesthetic that complements her sound. The music videos are often a feast for the eyes, filled with vibrant colors, quirky outfits, and a sense of fun. They're not just promotional tools, they're an extension of her artistry. Each visual tells a story, and she's not afraid to be playful or even a little weird. It's refreshing to see an artist embrace their individuality like that. And speaking of individuality, let's touch on her influence on the pop landscape. It's clear that she's paved the way for a new generation of artists who are unafraid to experiment and break the mold. You can hear her influence in the work of artists like Dua Lipa, Olivia Rodrigo, and even Billie Eilish. They're all pushing boundaries in their own ways. And I think a lot of that stems from the trailblazing work Charli has done. She's not just a part of the pop conversation, she's shaping it. Now, let's get a little deeper into her lyrics, because they often reveal a lot about her perspective on life and love. Take Boom Clap, for example. On the surface, it's a catchy pop song, but when you really listen to the lyrics, it's about the thrill and chaos of falling in love. It captures that feeling of being so consumed by someone that nothing else matters. It's relatable, and I think that's why her songs resonate with so many people. She captures those fleeting moments and emotions in a way that feels genuine. And then there's Break the Rules, which is all about defying expectations and living life on your own terms. It's an anthem for anyone who feels constrained by societal norms. Charli encourages us to embrace our wild side, to break free from the rules that hold us back. It's empowering, and I think that's a big part of her appeal. She's not just writing songs, she's creating anthems for a generation that craves authenticity and freedom. But let's not forget the fun side of Charli XCX. She's not all serious and introspective, she knows how to have a good time. Her songs often feel like a party, and her energy is infectious. Tracks like 1999, featuring Troye Sivan, are pure pop perfection, filled with nostalgia and joy. It's like she's inviting us all to join in on the celebration. There's a sense of camaraderie in her music that makes you feel like you're part of something bigger. And speaking of nostalgia, I think it's worth mentioning how she taps into that feeling in her work. The 90s and early 2000s aesthetics often pop up in her visuals and sound. It's a clever way of connecting with listeners who grew up during that time, while also introducing younger audiences to that era's vibe. It's like she's bridging the gap between generations, and that's a powerful thing. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate her live performances. If you've ever seen her in concert, you know she brings an energy that's absolutely electric. She knows how to engage with her audience, creating an atmosphere that feels intimate even in larger venues. It's not just about the music, it's about the experience. You feel like you're part of a community, and that's something special. Charli XCX is also a master of reinvention. With each project, she seems to evolve and grow as an artist. Just when you think you've got her figured out, she surprises you with something new. It keeps her fans on their toes and makes her discography exciting to explore. It's a testament to her creativity and willingness to take risks. And let's not overlook her role as a producer and collaborator. She's not just a vocalist, she's involved in the creative process from start to finish. She's worked with a diverse range of artists, from pop icons to underground acts, and she brings her unique flair to each collaboration. It's a reminder that music is a collaborative art form, and she embodies that spirit. As we look to the future, it's clear that Charli XCX is just getting started. She's already made such a significant impact on the music industry, and I can't wait to see where she goes next. Whether she's experimenting with new sounds, collaborating with emerging artists, or continuing to share her personal journey, I have no doubt she'll keep us all captivated. So what's the deal with Charli XCX? She's a multifaceted artist who defies categorization, a pop star with a punk spirit and a voice for a generation. She's relatable, innovative, and unapologetically herself. In a world that often tries to box artists in, she stands out as a beacon of authenticity and creativity. And that's why we love her. Whether you're a die-hard fan or just discovering her music, there's something in her work that speaks to all of us. So let's keep celebrating her journey, because I have a feeling it's only going to get more exciting from here.